Hello, friends. This is Sam Cheney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, July 30th, 2026. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus on the line, so I'll try to get through the intro as quickly as possible here. It's going to go through all this horrific news. With us today on day 152, of the Iran war. It just is, it's a nightmare. We need to remove our troops. Now Jordan's calling to remove our troops. We need to remove our troops out of harm's way, the first thing, and stop this war. Doesn't look like that is going to happen. We'll give you a wrap up on the follow-up of attacks yesterday. I just checked CENTCOM. It's not announced we're currently bombing them. Could be a bombing campaign against Iran. Could start at any time during the live show here, as has happened a few times. So we're praying for peace here. It doesn't look good. Things are only escalating. We killed some more civilians, Iran's claiming, and they're seeking revenge. The same thing, tit for tat, back and forth, and it will never end. An eye for an eye, a head for an eye, and it just never ends. And we're back before Christ. We're back, literally, our foreign policy is that of a caveman at this point. We've got IDF soldiers go AWOL. They got pissed off because one of their commanders took down their satanic art there. We'll cover that story. It's like you can't even make this stuff up at this point. Just the pure evil that we're up against here now. So the ins and outs of the Iran war ongoing here. We got a bunch of AI technocracy news. The White House launched another government website. Somehow they're Republican, capitalist, free marketers. They're total communists. I mean, government. Well, we got another report on government buying a bunch of equity stakes in these companies. It's just like, this is your corporate fascist government. So vote Republican in November or the commies are going to take over. Bro, the government's already commies. Give me a friggin' break. We got all that news. That's crazy, creepy centaur. We're going to take a look at that. These bastard AI companies buying up rare books and used books and scanning them into their systems and then destroying them. More on that. That's got me pretty pissed off. Everybody should be pissed off. Even though I know books and reading and even knowing anything is a big conspiracy theory, but we should be upset. I'm upset. I know Ruckus is upset about it as well. I did look up Jared Leto follow-up, and yeah, he bought that freaking where they filmed the freaking moon landing, most likely, right? He bought Wonderland Air Force Base. We'll take a look at that upon the news of accusations of him being a PDF like all the rest of them, right? And so, but we'll take another look at that today. Again, a bunch of economic news, a bunch of geopolitical news. Spain is being invaded. Spain's being invaded there. We'll take a look at that. A Russia-Ukraine war. The controlled demolition of Lebanon continues, and the genocide there in Gaza continues. All that and much more on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. Let's get to this day in history. We'll get Ruckus on here and try to get through this nightmare. All right, on this day in history, we go all the way back. On this day of July 30th, we go all the way back to the year 762. Baghdad, there in modern-day Iraq, is founded. We should probably just, wipe the whole thing out. We probably haven't killed enough Iraqis yet. We did kill some Iraqis yesterday, and that's what America does, right? On this day in 1619, House of Burgesses in Virginia forms, first elected American governing body, and everything started going to shit ever since. So the government is evil. The government is slavery. The government is mind control. we should, the very least we can do is reject all things government. Just simply reject it. That's the very least of the things we can do here now. On this day in 1715, Spanish gold and silver fleet disappears off the Florida coast. And then everybody should love this one. On this day in 1733, we had some 33 columns there. Society of Freemasons opens first American lodge in Boston, 1733. Wouldn't you know? On this day in 1863, eye for an eye. As Mighty White of then President Abraham Lincoln issues eye for an eye order to shoot a rebel prisoner for every black prisoner shot. So it was Mighty White of old Abraham Lincoln there. On this day in 1869, we saw the world's first oil tanker, the Charles, departs from the United States for Europe, carrying 7,000 barrels of oil. Now it's about just blowing up oil tankers all over the place. So we'll have that in our Strait of Hormuz coverage. 1928 on this day, George Eastman shows the first amateur color motion pictures to guests at his New York house, including Thomas Edison. On this day, 1935, first Penguin books published, starting the paperback revolution. And again, now these bastard criminal AI companies are trying to do away with all knowledge. They're trying to control all knowledge essentially here now. And they're just criminal thieves. They're not really that smart. They're thieves and bastards on top of it. 1945 on this date, we saw the sinking of the USS Indianapolis. After allegedly, I'm going to add allegedly here now. After allegedly delivering the atomic bomb across the Pacific, cruiser USS Indianapolis is torpedoed and sunk by Japanese submarine I-58, killing 880 of the crew, many of whom are attacked and eaten by sharks, partially inspiring the movie Jaws. On this day in 1956, then President Dwight D. Eisenhower signs a law officially designating, quote, "In God We Trust" as the national motto of the United States. My question is, what God are they talking about? I don't think it's Jesus of Nazareth. I think it's their freaking go to Mindy's Satan God is who they're talking about. On this day in 1966, U.S. warplanes bomb the demilitarized zone between North and South Vietnam. When are we not bombing something? That's really the question. On this day, 1975, U.S. Teamsters president Jimmy Hoffa disappears in suburban Detroit. Where is Jimmy Hoffa? Who knows? Hoffa legally declared dead in 1982. They still never recovered his body. On this day in 1976, future TV personality Keeping Up with the Kardashians and transgender figure Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, sets a world record with 8,618 points to win decathlon gold at the Montreal Olympics. What a turnaround for Caitlyn Jenner. On this day in 2002, then U.S. President George W. Bush signs the Sarbanes-Oxley Act into law, legislation designed to prevent future accounting scandals such as Enron's bankruptcy. They're doing the same thing with the circle jerk of AI. They're literally doing the Enron fraud. Good job there, Sarbanes-Oxley. And then finally, on this day in 2003, I didn't realize they were making Volkswagen Beetles this long. On this day in 2003, the last old-style Volkswagen Beetle rolls off the assembly line in Mexico. And did you guys, I don't know, when I was growing up, there was always this guy, right there, right, 2003. There was always this guy that was always working on his Volkswagen motor. And it's like, dude, like I've known you like the last 6 years and you're still in your garage working on your freaking VW motor. I don't know if you guys knew that guy, but it seemed like every community had that guy that was always working on his VW bus that could just never, like, dude, you've been working on this motor for 6 years. Like, get the thing running already. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys remember that as a kid. I remember it as a kid. Anyhow, on this day in our civil liberties history, going back to the year 1964, FBI adds KKK to notorious COINTELPRO program. Under pressure from Lyndon Baines Johnson, the FBI on this day added the KKK as a target of its secret and notorious COINTELPRO program. COINTELPRO was a secret FBI operation that included illegal actions such as burglaries and the theft of documents, wiretapping, the forgery of documents, and other efforts to disrupt political targets. Its principal target was the Communist Party, along with some other left-wing groups. Under pressure from President Johnson to act on civil rights, mainly because of the murder of 3 civil rights workers in Mississippi, the FBI on this day extended its COINTELPRO program to the Ku Klux Klan. The FBI added the, quote, new left, meaning mainly anti-Vietnam War and black militant groups, to the COINTELPRO's targets. Existence of the COINTELPRO program was first discovered when political activists burglarized the FBI office in Media, Pennsylvania on March 8, 1971, and stole and released documents to the media. Only one document among those stolen contained the word COINTELPRO, but the first news stories based on the documents in March of 1971 spurred further inquiries, and the nature of the program was later revealed. The COINTEL program was first exposed by the Senate Church Committee investigations that began on January 27, 1975. So to beat the commie left-wing criminals, whoever the government perceives as enemies, they're going to commit unlimited crimes against the American people to keep us safe. The government is an organized crime syndicate, you see here now. And they can't and won't keep you safe. Here's our segue to the news. Journalist Sam Husseini confronts alleged Palestinian. He's not. He's an ultra-Zionist. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Let's take a look here.
Trump has turned it into the single most profitable scam of his. Please sit down. Please sit down.
Genocide. What can be more corrupt than that in genocide? This is part of the same con with you and Trump playing off of each other. Oh, he's worse. Oh, he's worse. You were put on notice in November of 2023 by the Center for Constitutional Rights and other legal and human rights organizations. Notice on potential legal liability for aiding, abetting, inciting, or conspiring to commit genocide for congressional acts and demand. You were put on notice, and you backed it, and you backed the genocide to their hills for years on end. How dare you talk about corruption? How dare you talk about corruption?
Thank you for your diatribe. Now, let's continue. Let's continue and let the people didn't come to hear you.
You should be questioned about your diabolical record. It's amazing that you can show your genocidal face in public, Mr. Senator. Mr. Senator. Shame on public citizens for not allowing questions to this genocidal maniac. Shame, yeah, corruption.
Good for you, Sam Husseini. Good for you, man. If every journalist would call out these criminals like that, we'd have a different country here, Ruckus. How you doing this Thursday?
You're funny. I have it on good authority. The only type of media who's going to call out the current administration is fake news, obviously. They're communists. They're all communists. Sam, are you a communist? You better not be a communist.
They said either vote for the scientific dictatorship technocracy or the commies are taking over, Ruckus. I don't know what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is why I don't do politics. The choices are getting increasingly worse every time, if you can call them choices. At least, you know, when it's like Coke versus Pepsi, sure, Coke and Pepsi taste good. Whatever this crap is, it's like Tab versus Diet Crystal Pepsi. It's disgusting. You know, nobody wants this crap.
It's Goy Hebrew cricket slurry, I think is what it is, really.
We should ask Fauci. Oh, well, we can't because he keeps pleading the fifth.
That's what I was going to say, too. Will you admit finally here now on Weaponized News, Ruckus, that you're bad and Fauci's good?
No. I know you're a huge fan, but whatever.
I'm a huge fan of Fauci, and all healthy people are bad, and Fauci, the science is good. And that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be.
Don't worry, you'll see this guy hanging outside your window soon enough. He'll set you straight.
Donald Trump reportedly exploded in anger during a security briefing, shouting and cursing over lack of progress in the Iran war and the military options presented to him, according to a report from NBC News. Citing a U.S. official and a source familiar with the meeting, NBC said Trump exploded, was yelling expletives, and became increasingly exacerbated. By Iran's refusal to agree to a deal. There was no real strategy for how long or what they should do to get to an end point. A Trump ally told NBC he did not intend this to be a long, drawn-out war.
Too late.
Too late, bro. We're on day 152. U.S. strikes. This is from yesterday. U.S. strikes IRGC targets after attempted Iranian attacks. I'm reading you right from U.S. Central Command Post here now. They say at 10 p.m. Eastern Time yesterday, U.S. Central Command forces successfully completed a heavy wave of strikes against Iran in response to yesterday's attempted missile attacks on U.S. forces. CENTCOM assets struck dozens of IRGC targets in Iran, including military command centers, missile and drone facilities, coastal surveillance, and defense sites, and maritime capabilities. The strikes aimed to further diminish threats by Iran and its proxies to American forces, commercial shipping, and neighboring countries. The previous day, July 28th, IRGC forces launched multiple ballistic missiles from Iran in an attempt to surprise attack U.S. forces based in the Middle East. All Iranian missiles were successfully intercepted. More than 50,000 U.S. service members are currently deployed to the Middle East and remain highly vigilant, focused, lethal, and ready. So aren't these 50,000 U.S. service members deployed to the Middle East just being used now as pawns in the game, cannon fodder to be blown up, to piss off America, to try to rally some support for this very unpopular Iran war, Ruckus?
That remains to be seen. They could also be used to just do the thing that we traditionally do. So, you know, it is what it is.
CENTCOM said U.S. forces completed heavy wave. They have video. We don't even play the video. Here's Shadow President Millet here. He did a big interview with NBC or ABC News. We'll try to spare you and not play much of it. But here he is. What is he? He's claiming here. He's made a few very bold claims. Here he's claiming that. Well, he says there will be no Palestinian state. So there will be no two-state solution.
Do you support a Palestinian state?
No, I'll tell you why not. Because we had one.
It's called Gaza. And in fact, it was a de facto Palestinian.
Well, they didn't want you to hear that whole clip. So there will be no two-state solution, obviously. U.S. strikes hit 2 locations in Iran's Fars province this morning, according to the governor there. Here's some of that damage. So we do like to blow up Iran. That's exciting footage.
Is that house available? Is that for sale?
U.S. strikes on Iran. There's a whole bunch. Abadan, Avaz, Shad, Gan, Avhand, Kanar, Kazrun, Fosh Band, Bashar, Kish Island, Qazim Island. We bombed the hell out of them yesterday. Big time. Here's a little map to give people an idea. We bombed the hell out of Iran last night, man. All right here. Whacked all these different targets.
Are these like schools and hospitals or something?
Yeah, mostly. No. Well, I read you where CENTCOM said. But how many times
I know, but that's what they'll say. So they'll say if it's a drone factory, it'd be like, which was hiding under a kindergarten, or whatever they say. It's ridiculous. I hate to joke about it, but I mean, that seems to be the way that they've been doing things lately, hitting civilian infrastructure and things that normally Aardvark Land does when they were taking care of their, or continue to take care of their quote unquote problem or whatever. They're looking for a solution. Oh, I shouldn't say all that stuff, huh? Anyways.
CENTCOM says Iranian strikes cause no damage, so our bases are impenetrable again, but I'm sure it does cause damage. They took out all kind of our radar, all kind of our early defense systems. Like Iran is
just in case their navy, which doesn't exist, starts operating again from the bottom of the ocean because we sunk them, right?
CENTCOM says Iranian strikes caused no damage at Kuwait's Ali Al Salman Air Base. But satellite, these pesky satellite images keep coming out on the internet. Says different. Says they whacked that. Sentinel-2 low resolution satellite imagery reveals new damage at the air base there in Kuwait. So they keep putting out satellite images showing the damage. CENTCOM still says there's nothing's ever been hit. 3 IRGC members were killed in U.S. missile strikes. The one last night that we're talking about here, the big campaign. So we did. IRGC says we whacked 3 of them in that. IRGC claims it destroyed 3 U.S. F-35 jets in Jordan strike. And we do have some.
No way we admitted that, did we?
Well, we do have some fact checks from CENTCOM, so we'll have to take a look at that. Iran's IRGC says it destroyed 3 F-35s. Let's see. The IRGC said the operation was launched in response to a U.S. airstrike on 2 residential homes on Qasam Island, which killed a father, mother, and 1 child while wounding 2 other children. Iran says its aerospace force, which we've blown up many times, but somehow they're still around, targeted the parking apron and maintenance hangars housing U.S. F-35 jets at Mawafqa Salti Air Base in Jordan with several ballistic missiles. The IRGC said the strike completely destroyed 3 F-35 fighter jets and inflicted heavy damage on 3 others. It also said several U.S. officers and technical and maintenance personnel were killed. The statement praised the support of the Jordanian people, particularly groups of Jordanian elite, and said the operation was intended to help free Jordan from U.S. military presence, adding that the struggle would continue until the last U.S. forces leave the region. And here's the nice little sticker they put on the side of their missile. They said, Pharaoh-like child killers and Abu Lahab-like incompetence cannot claim the mantle of Abraham Accords. So that's a nice little message they put on the side of that missile.
It's all the rage these days to just scrawl things on weapons of destruction. Neat.
IRGC claims it destroyed drone hangars at U.S. base in Kuwait. So they're making big claims, but I think we did have a fact check later here from Kuwait's military said Iranian missile and drone attacks struck a building belonging to a Chinese company. It had in the country's north, killing one worker and causing significant collateral damage. Are there a bunch of false flags? But before we get to that, sadly enough here, Ruckus, dozens of IDF soldiers desert the torture camp there. I don't even know how you say it. SDE Tiamen base after commander takes down banners in disciplinary action. Here's the headline out of Haaretz, and they highlight the fact here that, and we'll show you the images here. The Gavanti brigade soldiers walked off the base after their commander took down what he said were signs depicting Satan and the angel of death, which allegedly glorified hazing of younger troops, which soldiers said some of them commemorated soldiers killed in Lebanon. As of Thursday evening, all soldiers but one platoon have returned to their base. More reporting on that. I do believe we have the images here. Let's see. Yeah, here's the image of their satanic posters that got taken down. You can see it right there. That doesn't look like that bad. Just some fire-breathing dragon. Oh, they even threw bats in there for Fauci. So that's not that bad, right? That allegedly taking down those images caused the soldiers to walk out. And I believe we have some video of it as well here. Yeah, here we go.
This is very confusing. So just I want to clarify. The soldiers put up stuff that's bad. The commanders did the right thing and took it down. The soldiers were pissed off and walked out. Is that correct?
Pretty much.
Okay, because it's very confusing. All right, go ahead.
But they're all working at this torture factory there. So maybe the commanders are like, we don't want to put it on Front Street that much. Here's some video of the walkout. And they have death right there too. So, and I think we did have some better, I don't know what they did with the sound on that thing, but those are the images that were allegedly taken down. The Grim Reaper, like that. Yeah, here's some better footage. I hope we have better audio. Yeah, here you go. Here's a bunch of these satanic IDF soldiers. Yeah, so they were mad. They tore down their Satan pictures and they threw down their weapons and said, if you're not going to let us have our Satan pictures, we're out. But most have returned.
There's got to be more to this story. This just doesn't make any sense at face value. Maybe it's the satanic part that's throwing me off. It's because the commander, according to the story there, according to the commander, these things are satanic, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how he described them. Those were his words, right? Okay, so...
And that's from Haaretz. That's mainstream aardvark
right.
news.
So what really are these things? Is this one of those, like, there's special sects within certain religions? I don't want to, there's certain religions within religions that are a little more extreme than others, we'll just say, right? Is this that kind of an instance kind of thing?
Let me read. I'll read you from Ynet here. That's mainstream aardvark news too. They say dozens of soldiers from the Gavati Brigades battalion left the base without authorization early afternoon this afternoon, their time, after commanders removed signs and symbols tied to a long-standing battalion tradition, prompting widespread coverage in the Arab media that portrayed the incident as a rebellion within the IDF. The soldiers were filmed leaving the base while chanting and an obscene slogan against their officers. Some reportedly left their weapons behind before returning home. Videos and images from the scene quickly spread on X and were amplified by Lebanese, Syrian, Qatari, Iraqi outlets aligned with or sympathetic to the Iranian-led regional axis. According to soldiers in the battalion, the removed symbols had accompanied them during fighting in Gaza and Lebanon and were passed down from one recruitment class to the next. They viewed the items as representing their connection to the battalion and its traditions. The dispute intensified after the battalion commander personally removed the symbols as an act documented in video footage. The IDF spokesman's unit said the walkout followed the commander's decision to remove signs connected to irregular incidences involving the battalion's veteran junior tradition. A short time ago, soldiers from the combat battalion began leaving their base without their commander's authorization, the military said. The incident is being investigated and addressed by commanders. This conduct is inconsistent with IDF values and with what is expected of its soldiers. Arab media closely followed the reports. One Lebanese channel cited Aardvarkland media under the heading "Rebellion at the Said Taim base after a dispute with the battalion commander," claiming that dozens of soldiers and commanders from the battalion had left their weapons and returned home. So it's a tradition there to have these satanic images in that battalion.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's all par for the course. And again, here's some of the images. The most striking one right here. They honored Fauci with the bat. I don't know what the problem is, really, honestly. Right. Here's Bibi lying. He's from Eastern Europe, Poland, but here he is lying, saying that Bibi Millet says that he tells Christian Zionists in America that his bloodline comes directly from the original Hebrews in Jerusalem. Let's watch this clip. Yeah, Christian Zionists, you're sucker dupe fools, and you're being conned by these aardvarks. Just saying.
We're descendants from the original Hebrews of the Holy Land. And we are the first part of that Judeo-Christian heritage which we cherish and which has given the world the civilization of freedom and faith. And again, we have to stand up and defend it. It's under attack from the rising tide of anti-Semitism and anti-evangelicalism, too. And it's not accidental that the two are coming under joint attack. Because
I just hate these evil assholes, Ruckus. Sorry.
The look on his face at the beginning of that clip when you went to play it, and as he said that, tells you everything.
Look,
it's
he
worth
knows
$1
he's
million
full
bucks.
shit. He's a
That is
liar.
the
Look.
most giving. Look at that. Look at the look on his face.
He knows
I'm
he's
sorry.
a liar. He's a liar. He's a freaking Polish, freaking Eastern European.
That POS right there. Wow. Anyway,
they're not even septic, dude. They're killing the real septics. It's just over the top, retard. I mean, evangelical Christian Zionists, I'm sorry to say, you're a bunch of retards, man. And you people make me even sicker than the aardvarks, honestly. 2 weeks, Ruckus. 2 weeks. They love the 2 week thing. There's something with the 2 weeks. There's some kind of esoteric cult thing going on with 2 weeks. They love the 2 weeks. Now, head of Joint Chiefs of Staff says 2 weeks. Give them 2 more weeks. The U.S. commander with a 2 week plan to escalate strikes in Iran. Admiral Brad Cooper is pitching the idea that he needs just 2 more weeks. And General Dean Cain, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they just need 2 more weeks. That's a report out of the Wall Street Journal. Here you go. Just 2 weeks, bro, to flatten Lebanon. You're not going to flatten Iran in 2 weeks, bro. I'm sorry to tell you. You're not. It's not going to happen. We don't even have the munitions. If it was even physically possible with everything we got, send every friggin' thing we got. I don't believe it's physically possible to flatten the curve of Iran in 2 weeks, Ruckus.
Oh, I believe it's possible. That's why actually this is my 2 weeks notice. I won't be appearing on the program anymore because there's no reason to, because the war will be settled. We'll have peace and everything will be fine, bro. Happy puppy, rainbows, hot dogs, America, baseball. Yeah.
Apple pie, you forgot. And Fauci, you forgot.
Well, I don't like apple pie, and I definitely don't like Fauci. Sorry.
Come on, man. He saved the world many times over. No? Here's a fact check. So we got our fact checks from U.S. Central Command. They say over the past, when did they post this? They posted this early this morning, 8:27 Pacific time in the morning here. We got a lot of fact checks. So U.S. Central Command's going to get everything straight here now. They say over the past few hours, Iranian state media have continued to report false claims by the IRGC, 3 in particular. So they're just paring it down to 3 here. First claim, the IRGC claims free and open routes through the Strait of Hormuz are dangerous for commercial vessels. The immediate dangers posed to commercial vessels and their civilian crews are the IRGC's verbal threats and attempted attacks. Second claim, the IRGC claims 3 U.S. F-35 stealth fighters and 3 other aircraft were destroyed during a recent Iranian attack on an American airbase. We told you those claims. Fact, no U.S. aircraft were destroyed or damaged in recent attempted Iranian attacks. All missiles and drones were intercepted or failed to reach targeted areas. Third claim, Iranian state media is reporting that a commercial oil tanker, MT Nora, has broken through the U.S. blockade. Fact, the commercial vessel has not broken through America's steel wall blockade. I like that, steel wall blockade. More than 20 U.S. warships, hundreds of aircraft, and thousands of service members remain vigilant and continue to fully enforce the blockade. And here's a little radio chatter. That's fun. CNN's reporting here now, U.S. weapons stockpiles continue to dwindle with permanent end to Iran war nowhere in sight. The U.S. military weapons stockpiles, including its inventory of critical air defense missiles, remain severely depleted following a major flare-up of the war with Iran. A major flare-up. Oh man!
Hemorrhoids.
According to 3 sources familiar with recent Pentagon, yeah, it was a case of herpes or hemorrhoids, something. It was a major flare-up. According to 3 sources familiar with recent Pentagon data and a new report by outside analysts, a substantive settlement to end the conflict remains elusive, and the shortage of the missiles could impact the U.S.'s ability to engage on other fronts. In a Monday report, researchers from the Center of Strategic and International Studies think tank estimated that fewer than 827 Patriot interceptors remain in U.S. stockpiles and fewer than 278 THAAD ballistic missile interceptors are left. The 3 sources familiar with the matter who requested anonymity to discuss U.S. stockpiles told CNN that the CSIS estimates were close to internal government figures. So a kind of a backhanded confirmation. A little bit more on the numbers here. The figures represent a significant depletion of pre-war stockpiles, which CSIS estimated numbered around 2,200 Patriot missiles and 452 THAAD missiles. The systems are the U.S. military's primary means of taking down incoming enemy ballistic missiles, and each interceptor costs millions of dollars.
Each one?
Each one. So these missiles, the Patriot missiles cost like $3 million each, and the Iranian drones cost like 30 grand. And so they're shooting $3 million missiles at $30,000 drones. So
that's a 30 and a 3. There you go.
And so Iran has good accounting, and America has no accounting, apparently, here now.
And which one has no accountability?
America.
Weird.
It went before the Senate again. The Iran Wars Power lost today on a vote of 50 to 49. And so, yeah.
By one vote?
By one vote.
That's politics for you, right?
By one freaking vote here. Yeah. By one freaking vote there. So, again, the Senate, Republicans refuse to hold Trump accountable. It's on them, bro. Vote for Republicans. And they're trying to use this invasion of Spain, saying this will be America. It already is America, bro. We'll get to that.
So we should vote for Democrats instead.
I say don't vote. Don't give them anything. I say don't.
Oh,
don't.
Damn it. They really got us where they want us, don't they?
I say mass non-compliance and don't participate in their system. At this point, it's like beating your head against the wall. Like, are you a sadomasochist MAGA guy that is into being abused by your alleged leaders? I mean, man.
In that case, you should definitely vote. Either way, just vote. Make sure you vote twice. Vote harder.
Vote harder, bro. It's the same government. Government wins every election. Ghalibaf here, head of Iranian parliament, says the United States soils its hands with a new crime every day. The terrorist attack on the residential home of civilians on Qasim Island is a continuation of the atrocities in Minab and Lamard. Americans have grown accustomed to making up the slaps they receive on the battlefield by spilling blood of the innocent. They will pay the price. And I think we have more of that later in the show about whacking these civilians. Well, thankfully, vote harder, bro, because technocracy, Elon Musk, is going to pour a bunch of money into Republicans for this upcoming midterm. Elon Musk plans to...
Why would he? Wait a minute. He started his own political party? I just want to remind you of this.
Elon Musk plans to spend $120 million backing GOP candidates in the midterms. Musk spent $260 million in 2024 to get Trump reelected, the largest ever individual political donor in a single U.S. election cycle. Musk is focusing on Senate races in 8 states and a few House races. So that's your democracy here in America for you. The FCC just added foreign-made advanced robots, humanoids, and quadrupeds to its covered list over national security and supply chain concerns. Robo Strategy, led by Key Wank Craig, holds a portfolio of U.S. robotics companies, including Standard Bots, which builds its arms in New York. Under the order, new foreign robot models and foreign-made connected power inverters generally can't get the FCC authorization needed to be imported, marketed, or sold in the United States. Existing and previously approved devices aren't affected. So that's exciting. Here's AI boom is sending the cost of consumer electronics way up. Have you seen this? Ruckus chip makers are diverting limited resources from gaming consoles and laptops to meet endless memory chip demands of hyperscale data centers, chasing AI industry profits at consumers' expense. After OpenAI committed to buying 40% of all chips in the world for their Stargate data center project, the cost of these RAM memory chips went soaring, leading to price increases on electronics across the board. So they're helping us.
They're hedging everybody out. They're trying to prevent people from two things, really. There's 2 parts to this, but this in particular, this move is to prevent people from being able to have like local models and capabilities on their own machines. It'll get to the point where our technology, so you know how like you always have to update your stuff all the time because after a year or 2 it gets outdated. That's going to happen, but eventually you're not going to be getting new equipment, but what you're going to do is you're going to be able to outsource the power to these data centers and stuff. Also,
you'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Right, including the ability to do work, even, you know what I mean? Like, you won't even have like a hard drive. Remember how they would release those Chromium books, the Google Chrome things, and they didn't even have any like storage inside these little netbooks don't even come with inside storage that you can play with. It's all on the cloud, right? See, that's kind of what they're doing with all this stuff. But it's also because they're trying to hoard and off. They want to sell you access to intelligence because they're making you stupid now, and then when we're all dumb and we don't know what we're doing, they're the only ones that own the access to the AI, and we got to pay them a pretty penny if we want to be able to think. That's, yay.
Well, we'll have more of that in a minute, but first, freedomhaulers.gov. Here it is, Ruckus. Because I don't know what could go wrong with this plan. There's too many illegal aliens driving around trucks. So the Trump administration has rolled out freedom haulers. Let me, there you go. You could see. I don't know what could go wrong with this. They're trying to say put veterans in these trucks. I don't know. They have PTSD. I don't know. It just seems like military to commercial driver's license career pipeline. Everything has to be warp speeded. So this is a new initiative rolled out today by the White House, Freedom Haulers. And the website is freedomhaulers.dot.gov. A new era of American trucking. I guess let's watch this little clip from the government.
For decades, getting a CDL, the commercial license you actually need to pilot an 80,000-pound big rig down the highway, was a total flip of a coin. One path was totally legit. The other path? Kapow! Pure Wild West chaos. Meet Honest Hank. Hank wanted to earn his CDL the right way. First, Hank studied hard and earned his commercial learner's permit. Then Hank attended a federally certified CDL training school. Then came the final road test, vehicle inspection, backing test, real highway driving. And after all that hard work, Hank officially earned his CDL. Then, there's Problem Pete. Back under Biden and Buttigieg, Problem Pete found an easier way. Instead of real training, shady operators exploited the outdated system with little oversight. Then came the DMV process. Some states offered CDL testing in over 25 languages. They skipped foreign background checks and handed out long-term licenses to people whose work authorization had already expired. That's no bueno. Honest Hank earned his CDL under his real legal name. Problem Pete? Not so much. And once they hit the road, oh my, the difference became terrifyingly obvious. Honest Hank maintained a safe, clean truck and followed the law. Problem Pete's truck looked like it was held together with duct tape and bad decisions. Hank followed road signs carefully. Pete couldn't read them at all. When Pete did get busted for safety violations, he had a shady trick up his sleeve, transforming into a chameleon carrier. He'd get shut down by inspectors and magically reopen under a brand new name almost overnight. Honest Hank obeyed mandatory rest periods. Problem Pete rewound his driving logs like an old VHS tape. Thankfully, it's the end of the road for Problem Pete. Yes, sir. Because when President Trump got elected again, he promised to make America safe again. So he and Secretary Sean Duffy, they devised a plan to restore integrity to our trucking system and protect you and your family on our American roads. A plan to restore integrity to our trucking system and protect you and your...
We're in trouble here, Ruckus, when Trump and the other actor, Duffy, are making plans. We're in trouble.
Well, as the video pointed out, Trump did campaign on making America safer again. Yes, Massa. Massa. Yeah, that was his thing, right? That's what it said on the hats. Oh no, that's not what it was, huh?
A new era of American trucking has begun. They're saying $70,000 average annual earnings for truckers under Trump. I don't know what government literally has to do with their earnings, but we'll get to that maybe. So they're launching this program. Maybe it'll work. Call me skeptical, but it seems like everything these idiots touch turns to shit because they are not genuine. They're a bunch of corrupt criminals. Hopefully this works at freedomhaulers.dot.gov. Here's they arrested this guy for just a few days ago. He was at a Kansas high school teacher was arrested for simply clapping in opposition to data center development at a town hall meeting. Let's watch this clip. Maybe they should, I don't know, maybe the cops should have shot him. I don't know. Let's see.
Ask them to leave. Can I say that? Chief, will you take the next person out that claps or anything, please? Thank you. Yes.
I think there's some better video of him actually being arrested. He probably should be shot, right, for any any kind of pushback against this evil, the police should do their brutality routine on you, right? Here's
No, Jay.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, turn over. Come on. Get on your feet. Get on your feet, dude.
It's not okay. Not okay, guys.
So those tough cops will do that to dude clapping at a data center meeting, but they won't do jack to Fauci because they're a bunch of cowards.
That guy was a communist.
Yeah, clearly. Proud to announce $100 billion private investment to redevelop portion of an energy site in world-class data center. Here's Trump. Lying more on the War Channel, Fox News about these data centers.
White House has announced another win in the AI race with a massive partnership expanding affordable energy, adding thousands of jobs in Kentucky. And in just a few minutes, Energy Secretary Chris Wright will join Kentucky coal workers in the mines to celebrate ending the war on coal, and that is where he joins us live from. Good morning, Mr. Secretary. Nice to see you today in Kentucky. Tell us a little bit about the big announcement this morning on data centers and Kentucky and people who are looking for jobs.
So the big announcement this morning is about the Paducah gaseous diffusion plant used to enrich uranium right after World War II to build our original arsenal. And then that facility was decommissioned over a decade ago. But we're announcing today a redevelopment of that site. There'll be a lot of new natural gas power plants, a large data center, thousands of jobs, and tens of billions of dollars of investment in rural Western Kentucky.
And in fact, it's not just tens of billions, $100 billion privately funded investment is going to create about 3,500 jobs in building the data center, I understand, there in Kentucky, and then 500 additional.
They're so full of shit. Like, who could watch this even? You got to be, miracled up on your 8th booster. You got to be out of your friggin' mind. I mean, it's just clown friggin' world from these lying criminals, Ruckus, onto the big.
Right, and there's no evidence that suggests or has been proven yet that all of these new jobs that are created when they're building them are legitimately local. Like, is it local jobs, or are they bussing people in? Do they travel?
They're going to bring your H-1B visas from India, and you're bad for being white.
From Morocco.
No, you're bad for being white. Anthropics, this has got me pissed off. I reported on it yesterday. I started seeing reports yesterday about it. Anthropics Project Panama destructively scanned books for AI training. Anthropic launched Project Panama in early 2024 to scan vast numbers of physical books from vendors like Better World Books, destroying the originals after digitizing them for large language model training. A federal judge ruled this one copy at a time process qualified as fair use under copyright law. The revelations from unsealed court filings have sparked questions about preserving physical knowledge amid AI's hunger to clean text data, especially after Anthropic's separate $1.5 billion settlement over pirated books. What do you make of this, Ruckus?
Well, I remember when this happened, because there was actually news about this a couple of years ago when they were first doing this or announcing that they wanted to do it.
They launched it in 2024, so like 2 years ago.
Sounds right. Yeah, I can't remember if I was still with TNT, but I definitely remember talking about this. It might have been something I included on my Daily Ruckus program or something we discussed on Boiler Room, something like that. But yeah, it's interesting that it pops up now and it's going mega viral. Everyone's flipping out over this thing, and it is terrible. But again, it's kind of not exactly what you think it is, but in a way it is. It's like, the assumption is that they're taking all of the books and destroying all. No, they're literally doing just one copy of particular books that they probably haven't already scraped. So it's just these very, the one-off instance, like they said, that's how they get away with it. But then it's disturbing and disgusting, especially if you're a book lover and a collector and all this stuff. It's horrible to watch what they have to do. Cut off the spine, there you go, and then put it inside this machine. That way it can actually flip each page and read it and whatever. The whole process doesn't even go as super fast as you would think. I would always think like Short Circuit, Johnny Five, he would read the book. It's kind of like that, but not like that. You know what I mean? But it's just like this. Yeah, they destroy the book, and that's horrible. But it's not every book in the world. It's not multiple copies of them. And again, why now? Why are we concerned about it now? It's kind of too late. They've been doing this for 2 years.
Well, because the unsealed court documents are reigniting people's interest in.
That makes sense. Now, what is interesting, though, is it has reminded people, or the debate has been brought up, which is good because, people are magically trusting the AI all of a sudden for some strange reason. Hopefully they won't after realizing, okay, now they take this book, and if they've got the copy and they could change the information in the book. Well, yes, but, those other copies of those books still are out there. I mean, give them time, and they'll get rid of them,
AI companies are buying enormous quantities of old and obscure books, cutting off their bindings and scanning every page for AI training data. The process is known as destructive scanning. Workers remove the spine so loose pages can be removed quickly through industrial scanners. Once digitized, the damaged originals are often recycled, pulped, or thrown away. Court documents revealed that Anthropic bought millions of physical books through a program internally known as Project Panama, then converted them into mass digital library used to train its Claude AI models.
There's a lot of people who make the argument that Claude is actually one of the smarter ones. So again, kids, read books. The AI that read the books got smart. See, you can get smart too. Just read books.
Anthropic is seeking an experienced document scanning service vendor to convert 500,000 to 2 million books over a 6-month period. Here's the procurement request for that service right there, Datamation, you can see. So indeed, it's a real thing. They really are doing this. On to the fun stuff here now, Ruckus. And so all this AI, if you like the humanoid Terminator robots, the weaponized robot dogs, that one crazy one out of China that's like a ball that has that's like it can go in the water, sea. Maybe they'll make it have wings. I don't know. If you like all those creepy robots, you'll especially like this one. Satyrus. They're literally rolling out freaking Baphomet here. The Godamindis here. Super humanoid general purpose robot. Like, why don't they write here, the devil or something on the front of it? Damn, man. So they're rolling this thing out, but of course it's always for the greater good. It's always because they care about our safety.
Why does it have a chainsaw?
Because he's a freaking chainsaw massacre. No, it's no job is worth your safety. They're claiming that these robots will go into high risk areas. That doesn't mean a job isn't worth doing. They're saying you can put different attachments on here on this robot, and then this one with the chainsaw is going to be used for forest management and forest fighting, so humans don't have to go into harm's way of a fire. See right here, they explain that doesn't mean a job isn't worth doing. We spend much of our lives mastering our crafts, honing our skills, but our bodies limit us. It doesn't have to be this way. We are taking the teleoperation focused approach, not to replace skilled workers, but give skilled workers superpowers in jobs that are dangerous for humans now or impossible due to risk of injury or death, extreme heat, bitter cold, pitch darkness, or other inhumane conditions. See, it's always for they're helping us become a supercomputer. This is part of our integration into transhumanism, the singularity. They're just nudging us along here, and so you can control this robot. You can see the command center there, and you can send it to go cut down some wood. We are building robots for engineers, experts, Centaur chassis, and so very creepy looking there. Human-like torso and arms allow for natural teleoperation and interfacing with designed for human tools and environments. Quadruped body with friction braked joints allows for a stable platform with no latent power consumption when not in motion, and increased stability and fail safes over a biped in both normal operation and in the event of loss of motor control. That's all that fancy thing there. No hands. See, no hands, so you can hook up a chainsaw and different tools there.
Look, Ma, no hands.
No hands because it got cut off by a robot chainsaw. So you can hook up a chainsaw, a drill. You can see for different applications. Resilient precision. That's just so damn creepy. The robot there, I don't know, doing a bump of cocaine. I don't know what it's doing there. All limbs, torso, and head could be replaced and recalibrated in minutes if damaged, and share 3 common fasteners for the entirety of their service assemblies, bring certain precision to uncertain environments.
This looks dangerous. Oh.
This robot is more dangerous than it looks.
Well, that's comforting. Already looks pretty dangerous. Oh, my.
As is any robot with human-like strength, size, and maneuverability, we are taking a physical approach to safety mechanisms with no ambiguity. Fail on air brakes and pin locks will render the robot immobile if system air pressure is lost. Shared reservoirs in the chest plate and body can be pierced by projectile or shrapnel or sharp instrument to immediately stop the robot in place. So they're really saying if you want to kill this thing, stab it or shoot it there, here, or you could also try to tell it to stop. It may not listen.
But it's a trap. You do that and it's actually C4 or something.
Yeah, maybe, and you blow the whole thing up. So be aware, 3 halves will be substantially slower if attempting to navigate a standard American 32-inch by 80-inch door, and cannot turn around in a 42-inch wide hallway or enter a door to the hallway oblonged to the hallway. Larger horns can be fit to prevent any passage through pedestrian doors. 2 3/2 robots fit side by side in crouched position in a pickup bed of 5 feet by 6 inches or longer with tailgate closed. So you can compact this unit down to that. You can see right there. And then, of course, what the hell? So you're going to get one of these for the kids to play with, Ruckus?
No. This is disturbing. Interesting name of the company that makes this thing too. The Satirus, right? It's a Greek mythological creature. It's bestial, feral, and sexually insatiable. So I'm not quite sure why they named their company after this thing, and they made this robot with attachments. That's all I'm saying. I'm just guessing this wasn't their first thought with the robot, Sam. That's all.
These guys are whacked out, man. They think they're going to create some AI god, and they all worship it. And
they're tricksters. They're tricksters too, by the way. The satires. They're trickster gods, things, centaur creatures. Yeah. So they're telling you, it's like, oh, trust us, but don't trust us because we named ourselves something that you can't trust because it's a trickster. We're tricking you. This is fun. They just out in the open with this crap. It's wild, man. Sorry.
It is pretty wild. All right, let's take our live commercial break here now. Give us the like, share, subscribe, push that notification button, please. We covered quite a bit on the first hour here. We're a little bit past the first hour. Check out weaponizednews.com/shop. Get yourself a holograph sticker, white background sticker, clear sticker. We got coffee mugs, t-shirts, baseball caps, the stickers over there, bunch of gear. Weaponizednews.com/shop. Links in the description below this video. We take donations as well. Buy me a coffee, Bitcoin wallet address, Cash App links all in the description below this video. Become a paid subscriber of Weaponized News Substack. We're streaming there live. You'll get the full show, summary of the show, and links to almost everything we talk about. Weaponized News Substack. It's all free. Show your support for independent reporting and analysis brought to you 5 days a week. Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern Time. Weaponized News for weaponizednews.com/shop. Weaponized News Substack. All the links are in the description below this video. Any which way you choose to support us is much appreciated. Go ahead and plug away that ruckus.
Yeah, head on over to alternatecurrentradio.com, which I'm not showing on the screen because we're in the middle of fixing the website right now. So it might be down when you go visit it, but give it a couple tries there after a day or two. It should be groovy. But yeah, that's where we post all of the shows like Boiler Room, Sunday Wire, which of course can all be found, the live videos and the replays of which are on their respective YouTube and Rumble channels. So if you're looking for something and the website's down, just make sure you're searching for Boiler Room, Sunday Wire, Alternate Current Radio. That will give you everything you need. Of course, you could always head on over to X and check me out doing the AC_wordslinger is my username. And we do make the announcements and post when we go live and stuff. I always share that, so you can always follow me over there and find my friends and colleagues through that back door. That way, you can also hit me up if you need help with a website or taming your Centurion killer robot, because I know how to stop it. I have a Sig Sauer P365. I got your back, man. Thanks.
Right there. Give us a message on @Weaponized News on X, @AC_wordslinger. You can see right there. The DMs are open, as the kids say. I do appreciate all of your hate mail and mockery of my hair. Yeah, see right here. This they even show you how to take it out. But as Ruckus said, don't believe them because they're sneaky little Baphomet type creatures running around.
The other thing too about the horns and the fact it can't go through the hallway and the doors is another part of their safety feature. Oh, it can't escape because it can't go through the door because it's got these little horns. It's a robot. It could probably break some stuff and bust through. I just say, I don't know. What do I know? But I'm not an expert.
It's creepy, man. Like, what would possess you to make this creepy thing? All right, welcome back to the second half of Weaponized News. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, hanging with us through that first hour. We're running a little bit late. We still got a lot of news to cover here today for you, but I wanted to circle back to the yesterday's reporting about Jared Leto being welcome back on this Thursday edition, July 30th, 2026 edition of Weaponized News. I want to circle back, Ruckus. I was reporting yesterday on Jared Leto, this Hollywood actor. He's now been accused by multiple women of underage sex abuse. As per usual, a new BBC documentary came out documenting these accusations. It's called Jared Leto, Hollywood's Dark Secret. It's not which one of your favorite Hollywood actors is a PDF. It's which one isn't at this point. It's just beyond the pale.
This one's special. He has his own cult, Sam.
There you go. So we did that reporting about the BBC documentary yesterday. I wanted to circle back. Dude literally bought where they filmed the fake moon landing in the Hollywood basement here. It's pretty wild, Ruckus. Famously weird actor owns secret Cold War military compound in California. The Propaganda Film Studio in upscale LA is now owned by actor Jared Leto. And you could see that was this was published by SF Gate, November 2nd, 2023. And yeah, it's this place right here, Laurel Canyon. It's literally called Lookout Mountain Air Force Base in Laurel Canyon, Los Angeles. This joint right here. It's just unbelievable. Here now, Ruckus. Like, it's hard to believe this is real. It's real, man. Wonderland Air Force Base.
Yeah, no, the guy is very weird. Like it said, they're famously weird. I prefer to think of him as the singer from 32nd to Mars, Jared Leto, not the actor. But, you know, that's just me.
Why did he buy this propaganda? They're still doing propaganda there, right? That'd be the only reason.
Maybe
it's on 8. The address of the compound is 8935 Wonderland Avenue.
Maybe there's something about where it's physically located, because the connection between these two things that seem like nothing together might be drawing upon some sort of satanic ley line energy, pagan woo-woo stuff that we don't understand, because they're into that stuff. Not saying that works or anything, but they think it does, you know.
What are they saying they filmed there? Let's see. Footage produced at Lookout Mountain even made its way into some of Hollywood's most iconic films, including Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove. I think they filmed the freaking moon landing there, bro. I'm just throwing it out there. I have no evidence of that. That's just my theory. Wow. So I just wanted to circle back about that because creepy stuff, man. Okay, on to Epstein reporting here now. DOJ uncovers $350 million in alleged fraud. Oh, before we get to that, little DOJ reporting. The charges span 7 states and 17 different cases that involve SNAP benefits. And so they're doing a great service for the American taxpayer by getting rid of all this fraud. They got $350 million of welfare fraud, which is like a quarter of the day of interest on the national debt, Rugged. So making a real dent for the public purse there.
At least they're trying.
Epstein investigation into Michigan Art School uncovers decades of abuse allegations. We covered this a little bit yesterday. It seems everywhere connected with Epstein, there's just a giant pack of PDFs running around. Shocking, I know. So he put his name and was a donor to this Michigan Art School, and now it interlocked him. Now it turns out during an investigation, more than 70 victims have claimed physical contact of the sexual nature by 47 staff members between 1950 and 2010 coming out of this Michigan Arts School. Just like it never stops here, Ruckus. Epstein files how victims maintain or remain exposed to identification. So this article just talking about the DOJ docks the victims, Ruckus. And so now they're worrying about their safety. One of the victims said, "I cannot live without looking over my shoulder." after her personal information was exposed in the Epstein files release. So they redacted the names of the co-conspirators, but did not redact the names of the victims in many cases in this Epstein file release, the big data dump.
That's interesting about real victims is that they crave nothing more than their privacy and not to have their identity exposed. Whereas there's a whole bunch of these people who love to try to play victim and get in your face about it. It's just very strange. I'm like, why is it that some people? I'm like, I don't know. Aren't they both victims? Just I don't know. Just putting it out there.
I think there are some fake victims out there as well, but there are more real victims that don't want to be public figures.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. But I mean, there's an entire class. I mean, in fact,
no, there's grifter victims for sure.
Yeah,
100%
like, oh, poor me, you know, and I'm just like,
100%. But there's also a bunch of victims that want to try to get over this abuse, and they're being re-traumatized when the FBI doxes them or the DOJ.
Yeah, it's terrible.
FBI Threat Screening Center is seeking predictive artificial intelligence capabilities to upgrade its watch listing system to determine people who will do crimes before they happen, according to a report out of Reason Magazine. So that's your pre-crime right out of Minority Report. And so that will keep us safe, right, Ruckus?
Oh, no. Probably not.
Todd Blanche.
So this guy, he'll keep us safe. There you go. That will definitely keep me in line.
Todd Blanche, acting attorney general, trying to get confirmed through the Senate to become official attorney general. He's suffering some pushback here now from Republicans in the Senate. You got Tom Tillis and old Coburn. How do you say his name? Coburn? Your senator out of Texas. They both have TDS now, apparently, and are not voting with Republicans to confirm Todd Blanche as attorney general. And so that's...
Well, I'm impressed. How about that?
They're not doing it out of any righteousness or to do the right thing. It's just petty politics, I do believe. And they could give a damn about
I'll take victims. It.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with our petty partisan politics. They're not doing it for righteous causes. They're just doing it to go against the other team. Both
These
sides.
are the only wins we get anymore.
The only wins we get is to spite the other side in their petty partisan domestic politics here in America. Case in point, I'll take this, but I don't believe they're genuine in their concern here now. House Oversight Dems say they put out this, and their ranking member, Robert Garcia, put out this. He says Republicans were forced to postpone Todd Blanche's confirmation vote because they knew he was too corrupt and untrustworthy to get enough votes. Blanche went from being Trump's personal lawyer to running the Epstein files cover-up and orchestrating billion-dollar slush funds. He is not qualified to be the top law enforcement officer in this country. We will not stop fighting until Donald Trump withdraws his nomination. It looks like here, Ruckus, they may have been successful. They may have been successful. Trump says he may pull Todd Blanche AG nomination until Senator Cornyn and Tillis leave office. Here's the post by Trump, and this shows you what a piece of garbage Trump is. Todd Blanche is a star. He's actively covering up the Epstein files right now, help dox the victims. And everyone knows it. I don't know that, Trump. You and him are corrupt brothers stealing from us. He has the potential to go down as one of the greatest attorney generals of all time. How? By covering up the Epstein files? However, John Cornyn of Texas and Tom Tillis of North Carolina, both whom I refuse to endorse and whose political careers have been ended by my action are refusing to vote for this great nominee who will remain in any event as acting. Remember, both Cornyn and Tillis voted for Merrick Garland and others too numerous to mention. I have no objection to temporarily withdrawing Todd's name if they do not do the right thing and put him back after Cornyn and Tillis are out of office. I don't know, man. I don't know if this strategy is going to work out for them, because it looks like Republicans are going to lose the midterms here big time.
Trump saying that he what does Trump know about doing the right thing? That's funny to me. Anyway,
here's the oversight Dems put this out. The DOJ under Todd Blanche. Yeah, literally redacted. Yeah, that's pretty much there. So ongoing cover up by the Department of Justice, led by acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, doxing victims.
Their friends could get hurt, Sam. Let's never forget.
Refusing to work with New Mexico Attorney General to investigate Epstein's Zorro Ranch. And so they're doing much to not help carry this investigation forward. They're actively covering it up and blocking this investigation.
That's only what it looks like. I mean, until they give us a better explanation. I mean, what else do we got?
It only looks that way, but they secretly, we just don't understand, because some anonymous internet riddler said 8 years ago that we just don't understand, you see.
7D chess, bro.
No, we do understand. They're all part of the Epsteins, and we do understand. Sorry to report here. Okay, on to economic reporting. Usury is a sin. U.S. mortgage rates rise to 6.66%. 666.
No, wait. What?
Highest level in the year. Yeah.
Oh, man.
According
They
to,
couldn't have fudged the number. Come on.
According to Unusual Wells, U.S. mortgage rates rise to 6.66%, highest level in the year. Again, usually
I'm sure the internet is having a field day with this one.
Here's a meme somebody posted under that report. There you go. Yeah, looks about right to me.
It writes itself. I mean, come on.
55% of employers who laid off workers to use artificial intelligence now regret the choice, according to Forrester. Firms are learning that it costs more to run the AI than the human labor cost, and it was a big mistake in many cases here. Now, they bought the hype, and so then you got to question their leadership and running these companies. Who are these fools that buy any AI Sam Altman BS that he's selling, and the rest of these clowns as well? Bloomberg NEF projects U.S. data centers will consume nearly 20% of the nation's electricity by 2035. Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, has said that markets underestimate risks, and he won't be buying any stocks or treasuries at current prices. Just saying.
Oh, good.
Top banker there saying.
But what about? But we've got OpenAI and Anthropic both. They want to do an IPO. Come on, bro, aren't you in?
JP Morgan's out, or Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan is out. I would.
This is what he's saying publicly?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very important. Thank you. I just wanted to make a mental note of that. A lot of these people do the exact opposite.
They up talk and down talk. Yeah, sure they do. They up talk it and then they do the exact opposite, or they down talk it and do the exact opposite. Yeah, That is been known to happen here. Commerce Department quietly announces 7 new equity stakes in private companies. I thought the commies are taking over. They already did here, apparently, according to a report out of The Hill. The Department of Commerce, led by Epstein's neighbor, Howard Lutnick. How's that guy even? How's he the commerce secretary? Like, seriously, but we live in dystopia. The Department of Commerce quietly announced this week it will designate more than $870 million in federal incentives for semiconductor manufacturing in exchange for a minority, they'll probably up it to minority equity stake in 7 companies. Isn't this fascism? The definition of fascism, the merger of state and corporate interests?
I don't think 100%, but it's close enough that people should be raising some eyebrows and asking some questions, I should suppose, but it's probably just communists who are, wait a minute, hold on, that doesn't make any sense.
NIST, who lied about 9/11, got caught in their lie. Anyway, National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, said Commerce's CHIPS Research and Development Office signed letters of intent with 7 companies to provide a combined $874 million in federal funding under the Landmark Chips and Science Act. So if you say I'm against government equity stakes in private companies, you're a communist? I guess so. And Trump, 2 days ago at a rally, he was confronted about being a PDF, and he called the protester a communist. So I guess that's all you got to do is just say you're a communist, and it magically wave your wand. And Lindsey Graham wasn't chasing kids at Disneyland before he died, or Disney World, right?
I know nothing about any stories of any ladybugs. That's all I know.
Wowzers. And the corrupt, what about the corrupt? I saw, what's the name was posting it? Foundering guy, the piano man. Anyway, he was saying that the invasion now of, by the Moroccan immigrants, illegal aliens into Spain was the price they paid for winning the World Cup. I don't know if that's true. That was the claim.
That's a dark. They would never stop. No, the world is not petty like this in any way, shape, or form. I see no evidence. Yeah, things are getting really weird, aren't they?
You're what's his name? They're all corrupt, right? Infantino, the head of the president of the FIFA, he's trying to sell it now and take the money and run, but he's getting pushback here now because people are waking up to the scam. Europe's 55 football federations unanimously voted to boycott the World Cup and all FIFA competitions over President Infantino's controversial proposal to sell a majority stake in FIFA to private investors. People are not buying the scam. That's good. That's good. Bond yields.
Robots are going to take over the sporting world soon enough.
This is very concerning, Ruckus. Bond yields at 19-year high. At 19-year high. We haven't seen them this high in 19 years. It's extremely concerning. Good? No, it's bad because no one wants to buy the debt, so we have to pay a higher rate of interest.
What happened? I thought the AI, I thought the bots, I thought the cryptocurrency CBDC thing was going to buy the bond, right? Is that what we were told, right? Who was it? The Becent guy, right? Mm-hmm. He's the one. He was saying that, right? Yeah, he said the plan was that. Or it's one of all these jackasses. I don't know, him or Lutnick and Blackstone guy Larry Fink. One of these guys. They're all like, yeah, we think that their CBDCs, the U.S. dollar CBDC that's not a CBDC will be the ones that hold up the bond market because they'll be the only ones buying the bond. Because yes, nobody wants to touch those things with a 10-foot pole that used to belong to Jeffrey Epstein.
The message from the bond market was clear for all of the U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Kevin Warsh's tough talk about taming inflation. He's not rushing fast enough to deliver. After the Fed kept interest rates unchanged for the 7th consecutive month, investors dumped 30-year Treasury bonds, sending the yield shooting up as much as 14 basis points to nearly 5.23%, a 19-year high.
Can we get it up to 6.66?
It's coming. More lies. So here's some more of your lies.
So the food prices are going to go down, is what you're saying, right?
No, they're going to continue to go up.
Damn it.
We got a 33 column here. The U.S. economy slowed to 1.5% growth rate in Q2. June core inflation at 3.3%. So there you
Word.
go. There you go from CNBC. 3.3% there.
This fantastic economy, everybody, because Trump is making America great again and safe at the same time.
Microsoft reports a 2.44% federal tax rate on a record $101 billion in profit. And see, the left-wingers don't seem to understand. Don't hate the player, hate the game, bro. Congress writes the tax code. Don't hate the accountants at Microsoft for maximizing their tax benefits, okay? Go talk to Congress and say, why do you write in loopholes for these corporations' tax departments to take advantage of, okay? I mean, it's that simple. Congress sets fiscal policy in this country. Go talk to the guys writing the laws, don't get mad at the accounting department of these corporations, again, for doing a good job. I mean, come on.
You sound like a communist.
I know it's hateful, but that's the reality of the situation. The accountants preparing their taxes are only working within the constraints set by Congress, you see. Thankfully, Lockheed Martin's making out like a bandit in this war ruckus. U.S. Army awards Lockheed Martin $58 billion Patriot contract. The contract is worth up to $58.6 billion for Patriot interceptor missile systems, expands production through 2032 as ongoing conflicts in Iran and Ukraine deplete American air defense stockpiles. So that's exciting.
But it's going to be over in 2 weeks. So this is all a moot point, right?
Another great company here, Shell Oil. Shell's half-year profits jumped 70%. They're not price gouging. Nobody should look into it. Remember, we had lip service from Trump like last week, 2 weeks ago. Oh, yeah, we're going to look into those gas prices. Really, bro?
They're not making a profit because they're like, increasing the price of the product compared to how much they're paying for it to produce it. It's just because so much more people right now are buying it. I mean, look around. Everybody's just like, they're just gas crazy right now. Sales are up, Sam. They're doing the good thing. They're doing their marketing and went viral on TikTok and Facebook. Yeah, no, wait a minute. Obviously, these disgusting jerks. Yeah.
Shell made nearly $9.8 billion in profit between April and June, doubling its profits from the same time last year.
What?
French oil giant Total Energies profited $6 billion, or 68% increase from the same time period last year. Well, millions feel the strain of paying $4 plus a gallon at the pump. Oil and gas companies are raking in record profits. They're literally price gouging us here.
I see no evidence of that whatsoever.
AAA national average for the price of a gallon of gasoline is now $4.10. So up a penny from yesterday. We'll just round up. I'll show you here. $4.98, right? So just round up to 10. And you can
just
see
fake because they got rid of pennies.
And Aardvark shaved off that the rest, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
And then the Brown University Watson School of International and Public Affairs total consumer cost burden since the beginning of the Iran war on February 28, 2026 is now $76.3 billion. And then the per U.S. household cost burden spread across both the cost of diesel and gasoline up to $482.59. They're killing us on Main Street here, Ruckus.
That's why I moved off of Main Street years ago, bro. I feel much better now.
First Qatari LNG tanker exits Hormuz in weeks after Pakistan secures Iranian transit deal. According to Bloomberg, the first Qatari LNG liquid natural gas tanker to exit the Strait of Hormuz in weeks has safely transited after Pakistan negotiated with Iran to secure safe passage for at least one shipment amid worsening energy crisis. Isn't that what all this is about? Is to create an energy crisis?
It's an interesting theory, but they would have to have some sort of solution ready to roll in to solve this problem that we're all currently reacting to. If it were to follow the standard traditional model like that, the problem, reaction, solution. So do we see or hear, pray tell, of any ways to fix this? I mean, other than invading and stealing countries like Venezuela's resources, I mean, are we going to keep doing that?
It's the Great Reset, Ruckus. So the solution is you own nothing and be happy. That is the solution.
You don't think they're ready? You don't think maybe just a wild theory? I mean, just put it out there because you're correct. There is this crisis, right? Mm-hmm. We had a health crisis, and they had some sort of solution. Maybe they are sitting on some sort of like new exotic thing. I mean, I'm very skeptical because the petroleum thing serves them very well. But I mean, do you think it's a possibility? I mean, do you think they can throw us a bone, give us a carrot on the end of the stick?
We're not getting jacked. They're pumping fraudulent fusion technology as the main alternative that I've seen out there in the mainstream, and firing up a bunch of nuclear energy as well. That's the solution.
Maybe the UFOs will come and land, and the aliens will give us the technology. Then that's much better.
And they've lowered they're lowering the safety threshold for radiation exposure as well.
Oh, well, that's fun. Maybe we all get our own little miniature nuclear reactors to set on our desks to power our little weak-ass computers that barely connect to the internet.
More 33 columns there, Ruckus. Qatar Energy buys 33 U.S. LNG cargoes after Hormuz shut down. Qatar Energy has purchased 33 spot LNG cargoes from the U.S. this year for delivery to South Korea, Taiwan, Bangladesh, India, and Japan, according to 4 trade and industry sources in a Reuters report, as it sought to minimize disruptions to key customers after the Iran war, which is ongoing here now, halted transit of LNG through the Strait of Hormuz.
That is kind of weird. Why specifically 33 of them?
I don't know. You know what I mean? The 33 cargoes represent roughly 1/3 of a month's LNG exports from Qatar before the war, and were valued at about $1 billion, according to Reuters calculations.
So they only had 100. So, because that's double 33s that they just threw in your face right there with the 1/3. Just saying, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Almost like they're sending a message, Ruckus.
I would agree in this case, yes.
U.S. forces have redirected 24 vessels, disabled 2, fired missiles at, and boarded 2 as part of their ongoing blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. And here's U.S. Central Command posted a U.S. Navy P-8 Poseidon approaches a U.S. aircraft KC-135, one of these refueling mid-air refueling operations. This is a video from U.S. Central Command showing us. So U.S. Central Command mocking the American motorists, how they can refuel mid-air as you struggle to put fuel in your tank to go to work, to pay taxes, to bomb Iran more.
They've certainly improved that in-air fueling process over the decades and years.
So, yeah, U.S. Central Command bragging about the Strait of Hormuz blockade, redirecting 24 commercial vessels, disabling 2 and boarded 2 to ensure full compliance. And that was just today, or as of today. Egypt's prime minister says U.S.-owned Energo's winner FSRU sustained significant damage from a drone strike. Iran saying this was a false flag. They didn't do it. It was this attack right here. They're trying to blame Iran for doing this attack. Right here, you could see Egyptian Prime Minister security agencies are investigating the Damien port incident to determine the drone's origin, emphasizing that Egypt will base its conclusions on verified evidence rather than speculation.
Well, I can think of another country close to that region who wants to start some SHITE with Egypt.
The guys that get mad when you rip up their satanic posters?
Well, yeah, those guys.
Foreign minister out of Iran, he's claiming this was a false flag, that Iran didn't do it. He says Egypt is considered a friend and important partner in the region, and its security constitutes an utmost priority for us. We must all remain vigilant toward Aardvarkland schemes and false flag operations that aim to undermine regional peace. The threat is clear, shared, and fears Muslim solidarity. He's claiming this was a Aardvarkland false flag attack.
Who was that? Who said that?
Foreign minister of Iran.
He's anti-Semitic.
Argachai. I think he's a communist too. That was this attack on this U.S.-owned vessel. So Baghdad says...
I expect a lot of these types. There's probably a lot more of this stuff going on than we know about, to be honest.
Segue here, Ruckus. Yeah, more of the same. Baghdad says no evidence attacks on Saudi Arabia launched from Iraqi territory, as they were retaliated against by Saudi Arabia and America. I guess we now are Saudi Arabians. That who knows where those passports on 9/11 came from. 16 Saudi Arabian hijackers. I don't know. Just saying. The Iraqi military denied earlier today, that recent drone attacks targeting Saudi Arabia originated from Iraq. Most of the time they take responsibility. I mean, when they're saying false flag and we're not responsible, it kind of, they kind of have some credibility to me, because most of these attacks, they say, hey, we attacked you, we hit the target or whatever, or we didn't hit the target. But most attacks are claimed by these governments. They're saying it wasn't them. I don't know who it could be in the region. It's a big mystery, Ruckus.
To be fair, it's kind of like a boy cries wolf situation, right? Because historically speaking, certain countries have continuously used this particular form of warfare as part of their playbook, the false flag operations, that is. And when you do that for so long, if and when there's a real attack, it's going to be a hell of a time trying to convince people it was legit. Yeah, you kind of shot yourself in the foot. Well, I mean, I guess you didn't in this case, if that was the case, if you know what I mean.
That's why we can't be partners with aardvarks, because we can't trust their sneaky asses, right? And so anytime any kind of positive thing happens, they go and do a big attack and then throw everything back into chaos.
Well, it could always get worse. They could always do the Samson option. Oh, anyway.
Reported yesterday that China's entered the war. Now China's publicly denying. That was a big Reuters report. They had the receipts. I'm pretty sure it's accurate about China signing a deal for the shoulder-fired missile defense systems to Iran. Today, China publicly rejects the report and says they're not sending these shoulder-fired missile launcher systems to Iran. Somebody's lying. I don't know. Reuters had the receipts of the invoices and everything like that. So I don't know. Maybe Reuters is lying, made the whole thing up. Maybe China's lying here now, and they don't want to publicly admit that they have now entered the war here, at least as a weapon supplier.
It was a report from Reuters, you said?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, this is the problem. When you let AI write your articles for your Reuters, occasionally they hallucinate. So we'll just chalk this one up to the ChatGPT.
China's still trying to lay low. Trump denied the report yesterday and says he talked to Xi, the president of China, and they wouldn't do such a thing. They're not involved in this war at all.
Probably not. They've probably got their sights set on somewhere else right now.
Taiwan?
Well, maybe.
So it turns
if
out
I were them and they were like watching us being so damn distracted, I'm like just thinking, hey, if things are all above board and all these wars and these conflicts and these world powers really want to like just destroy each other, now is a good time. Just, saying, we just write a report about how, oh, shoot, look at that. Shucks, we're running out of weapons. Oh, no. All of our troops are over here right now. Oh, no, we're completely defenseless. I'm like, why would you project that kind of information to the world? It makes no sense to me.
Turns out there's a bunch of arsonists running around France. It wasn't climate change. Shockingly enough, 275 people have been detained over starting fires in France, according to France's Interior Minister, Nunes. 70% of the fires were started deliberately. Over 14,000 fires recorded since the start of summer, with at least 117,000 hectares burned there in France. Crazy. They arrested 275
French-speaking countries.
275 arsonists there in France have been arrested. I guess it was climate change, though. Okay, on to the immigration crisis. It was like World War Z type videos coming out today. Here's the map. So they're jumping the Strait of Gibraltar, this little space right here from Morocco, or they're going through Morocco, wherever they may be from here now, right? Immigrants from Africa going up through Spain, and they're coming through right here. And there's a massive invasion earlier today. Here's some of the shocking video. Let's play a few of these clips. That's like World War Z style. This is crazy, man. Spain's North Africa enclave of Ceuta is facing a humanitarian and security emergency after about 1,500 migrants swam across from Morocco in the past week.
Swam that?
Yeah, I guess, or they have little makeshift boats. I saw a video of one guy with a bicycle. I don't know what that was about, but he literally came out of the ocean with a bicycle in his hand. Like, well, I guess he's ready. He's a real serious bicyclist, but the waves just keep on coming there, as you can see.
Well, I'm sure that local area there where they're all hanging out can probably easily accommodate this influx of extra people.
No, it's being reported all of the shelters are overwhelmed.
Well,
Here's let's see. Yeah, we showed that clip. But it turns out Spain they have deployed their military to help secure the border after massive migrant crossings overwhelmed local police. And so the military has now been rolled out there to try to control this migrant flow in Spain. Italy's Meloni's government says that is ready to suspend the Shogun free movement in Spain in response to migrant surge. Spain and Morocco reached a deal to deport all migrants who recently broke into Spain. Is the latest about this. Wild scenes out of Spain there. Cuba here, Ruckus. We're still waiting for a move on Cuba. Cuba says U.S. sanctions are currently blocking more than 7,000 containers of food, medicine, and essential supplies for the Cuban people as officials reiterate their warning that Washington is deliberately engineering a humanitarian crisis in Cuba. Well, they're communists, so they deserve it, right?
Yeah, well, they're doing the thing there. They're trying to create bad times for the people, so they'll rise up and request to take over their whatever. I don't know what they're doing. It's garbage.
It never happens, though. It hasn't been happening. Joe Blow suffers through sanctions, blockades, weaponization of the dollar, and the idea is you piss off the domestic population to the point they go overthrow their government, and it's not happening. They tried to engineer.
It's out of love because we don't want bad things to happen to the civilian population from their current government. So us, a foreign government, are going to do terrible things to the civilian population instead. Wait.
For humanitarian purposes, they claim.
It's pretty twisted, huh?
That's U.S. foreign policy. Germany's reportedly drawing up secret plans to stop pro-Kremlin traitor states from blocking NATO troop movements in the event of a Russian attack. Mert's secret plan to stop German traitor states blocking NATO troops. There's a little map of that right there. Pro-Kremlin traitor states. These are Laura Loomer, rumored to be from the Saw movie. She went and interviewed the Azov battalion there and says there's no Nazis involved in the Ukrainian Azov battalion. Here they are with literal death heads and the Nazi insignias right here. The literal Nazi death head right there. I'm sure we're just mistaken by the symbolism.
So she followed up her meeting with, didn't she interview Zelensky?
Mm-hmm.
Just recently. So she followed that up with this?
Laura Loomer asks the head of the Azov battalion there, why very identical to Nazi Germany logos. And what's the name? Biltski. He's the head of the Azov battalion that she was interviewing. said, I understand the controversy, but it's a story that's existed in Ukraine for 300 plus years. Claims didn't want to create the illusion of the similarity with the SS or SA. That's why they have them wearing these death heads.
Cool story, bro.
Laura Loomer's trying to whitewash Ukraine right now. I don't even get what that propaganda is all about, honestly. But
I brought up on Sunday Wire this week with Patrick Henningsen, and Basil Valentine was on there with us. I dug up an old Laura Loomer tweet from back in the day when she was critical of, Ukraine and the neo-Nazis and all that stuff. She's done full 180 on that. Yeah.
She'll tell whatever lie her paymasters tell her to tell. Obviously. Here now. Wild berries, that's a Russia equivalent of our Amazon here. Ukraine's been bombing the hell out of their logistics centers in Russia. Wild berries is seeking up to 100,000 square meter of warehouse space in Kazakhstan after repeated drone strikes damaged facilities in Russia. So they're looking to take their warehouse logistics operation outside of Russia. I guess that would force Ukraine, NATO, America to attack Kazakhstan. We'll probably do that next. What the hell? You know what I mean? Russia's imposed a new temporary fuel ban from August 1st through January 30th. Wow, this one's a long time, like a year and a half. From August 1st this year, 2026, to January 31st, 2027. I guess that's not that long. What is that, 6 months? August, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, like 6 months. Covering gasoline, diesel, marine fuel, and gas oil. The move is aimed to stabilize the domestic fuel market with some exemptions for producers, government agreements, and humanitarian shipments. So, again, NATO, America, Ukraine been bombing the hell out of Russia petroleum factories over there. And so now Russia's being forced to ration gasoline. Part of the engineered energy crisis here. A Russian ballistic missile destroyed a Kiev drone factory owned by U.S. registered company Terminal Autonomy, marking the first known Russian strike on a U.S.-owned company in Ukraine. Things are escalating. The factory produced AI-guided attack drones, and no one was reported killed, thankfully. That's a report out of the UK Guardian.
We had no visiting politicians over there.
Laura Loomer did visit that a drone factory there in Ukraine. She put out a video of it.
Oh, never mind. I don't want to ruin the plot. Tell me. The twist. I'm like,
tell me.
Well, there's a lot of people who really believe that Russia was the one that took out Graham.
She's floating the idea that Russia poisoned him when he was in Ukraine.
But now she's out there right now, and she, like him, have also been quite the face of, I don't know. I don't know. It was my birthday this month, just saying. Anyway.
Telegram founder Pavel Durov has been added to the Russian Federal Financial Monitoring Services Registry as a terrorist and an extremist because he won't turn over backdoor access to Telegram to the Russian government, essentially, here now. So he's a damn terrorist. He's probably commie too. That dude. He doesn't want to.
Definitely looks like a commie.
He doesn't want to give up his Telegram data to the Russian government. What a bastard, huh? Okay. X. Talk about censorship. X suspends Tassim News, which is Iranian linked up news there. They suspended their accounts in both Persian and English on X because it's a free speech platform. Okay. Thankfully, Musk is pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into the midterm elections, Ruckus, or I would be concerned about American democracy.
I wouldn't be that concerned about it, Sam.
Now, some good news. We've had all this bad news.
Wait,
death,
what? Good news. Hold
inflation,
on. Where
death,
am I?
destruction. We've had all that news. Killer robots. Now, some good news. Finally, 25 cats rescued from the Komoto Mall after the earthquake there in Japan. Let's watch this short clip of rescued cats after the Japan earthquake. I gotta kill the sound. Probably somebody will copyright that. So a cat break here. Thankfully, these cats have been rescued.
Thank God. I thought it was something else. I thought you meant cats, like from. Never mind.
I think we do have some.
K.
I think we do have some news about cats with a K and a Z. Yeah, tragically enough, the controlled demolition campaign in southern Lebanon continues. Southern Lebanon rocked by explosions unlike anything heard in recent memory. Locals report that the IDF claims it blew up Hezbollah tunnels using 700 tons of explosives. Blast echoed for miles with dust clouds swallowing nearby villages and towns. We have some video of it. 700 tons of explosives used earlier today or last night. Literally raining ash down from the explosion there. Amazing. Amazing level of damage going on in southern Lebanon. Southern Lebanon.
700 tons, though, does seem like a bit much, yeah?
Look at the friggin' explosion, man. Yeah. It's a bit much. They're making it uninhabitable, committing ecocide.
Well, this is probably one of the 700-ton smart bombs that only kill like a very distinct, like small. They only get the bad guys with this one.
No, it went many miles. The dust cloud swallowing up nearby villages and towns that literally had nothing to do with the alleged Hezbollah tunnels. Southern Lebanese man bids farewell to his war-damaged home with a song before its demolition. Over 62,000 housing units were damaged or destroyed, with over 21,700 completely leveled. Aardvark land attacks have killed at least 4,333 Lebanese and injured 12,236 since March 2nd. Here's a short clip of them. I mean, what do you do? I guess this is all you can do. Is they're going to demolition the rest of the dude's house. The bombings, we had some reporting from Courtney Banu there. Some images. These are from the last 24 hours out of Lebanon. Let's go to some of the clips here of the never-ending demolition campaign. That's quite a big explosion. That's pretty big. That's pretty damn big. Yeah, that's pretty big too, though. Aardvark land artillery shelling in southern Lebanon. More reports there. More heavy shelling, different area. Controlled demolition here. Saw the cradle reporting that. Aardvark land soldiers loot all the homes before raising the village. And here they are showing off the stolen property. So they kick you out of your house by threat of death, and then they go steal your stuff and post online your stolen stuff, them sporting it right here. So those are great freedom fighters fighting terrorism, Ruckus.
Chosen.
And they keep telling them stop posting this stuff, and they refuse. Why Aardvark land is bombing cemeteries and places of worship in southern Lebanon. It's so the people have no reason to return, not even to visit the dead. They're literally carrying out scorched earth policy there now, and committing ecocide as well. So they're literally making the land uninhabitable, i.e. salting the earth, i.e. Aardvark routine, Ruckus.
But none dare call it a genocide.
Back to the civilians there that Iran was claiming got whacked. Here's Professor Morandi. He made this post showing the damage. He says in the U.S. regime attack on a residential home in Qasim City, American soldiers murdered a father, mother, and their 2-year-old child. 2 other children, aged 7 and 9, were wounded and transferred to a hospital. And so these are the images of last night's bombing campaign, allegedly claimed that those lives taken. And you can see the damage there of a residential home on Qasim Island. Something for American troops to be proud of, Ruckus.
I hope not.
And then here is a reminder. This is the apocalyptic hellscape that is Gaza. A reminder.
When they fix it all up, Kushner and Witkoff and everybody, and they rename it Trumplandia or whatever, and it looks like a resort casino, awesome beachfront property kind of place. Do you think they will use those pictures as the before and after side by side, or would they do the before from way back in the day before? Be like, oh, this is, and we just did some, like, we just improved upon it, you know, or will they show this destruction? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good point. How sadistic are they? They'll probably show this and say, look, terrorists did this, and now we built you your Trumplandia here, and so everything's wonderful again. Now get in your cage.
Oh, I think the president of Trumplandia just made it in the chat.
President of Trumplandia. Jared Kushner is here. Hi, Kushner. We back the Flamingo Revolution, brother. Sorry to report to you here now. Okay, continuing here. Aardvark land Finance Minister Smotrich said Gaza is the biggest prison in the world. He did an interview trying to say that Hamas won't let the Palestinians leave, and if they were allowed to leave, they should go ahead and go to Egypt. And it's like, they were in Egypt before you guys stole. Egypt did control the Gaza Strip there until you guys stole it in 1967. But they leave that part out. And then leave out the part, they'll chase these people to the end of the earth, killing them. And so wherever they go, they're going to just go bomb there. They're going to say, the terrorists are there now. Time to bomb there. That's the routine.
Well, I hate to say it then. I hope they don't move here, right? That would probably be awkward. How would that work?
They'll bomb us here because the terrorists are here.
So let me get this straight. So this is the reason why Palestinians are not willingly leaving their homes. They desperately want to leave behind their land forever and just get the hell out of there, but they can't because Hamas won't let them leave. Is that the story we're being
That's what
told?
Smotrik's claiming, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, yeah, you can trust him. Cool. Gotcha.
This guy, for those that are not familiar, that's what he's claiming. I play the video, but it's in so he has something in his throat. It's very hard to understand. Ben Gavir. We did get some comments from Ben Gavir today. He said,
even worse.
He said, of course, he's the national security minister, Ben Gavir, consummate psychopath. He says, with Nazis, you only see they're like living in the past in World War II. Bro, there are no Nazis. They're now American scientists. So have some respect when you talk to our scientist, Ben Gavir. All right. He said, with Nazis, you only speak through gun sights and not in any other way. With the devil, who has inscribed our destruction on his flag, we are not obligated to stop liquidations of terrorists, nor do we sign deals, not through a third party, not through mediators, and not through any such entity, period. After the 10/7 massacre, in large part orchestrated and engineered by his government, the prime minister must clarify, even to our best friends, the only solution in Gaza that Aardvarkland is willing to be a partner in is encouraging immigration and destroying Hamas. No other solution. So that's reasonable, right? You only speak through gun sights. Bro, the Palestinians are not Nazis. I'm sorry. I remember a bunch of propaganda. They're like, look, we went to this terrorist Hamas house, and he has Mein Kampf here. Oh my God. It's just like, get the F out of here, dude. Horrifically, there in Gaza, they whacked a bunch of kids in like the last 24 or 48 hours, Ruckus. Again, this one we can show. Zad Nofel, Aardvarkland killed him at dawn in an airstrike. So this kid's dead. There's quite horrific images I won't show of the kids blowing up. Another child murdered in the past 24 hours. And let's see. Yeah, they got the kids all twisted. There's video of them blowing up. I don't want to show it. Probably get censored. At least 3. It's quite graphic. Everybody could go to Weaponized News Substack and see it. 3 Palestinians were killed and several others wounded yesterday. So the last 24 hours here in a fresh round of Aardvarkland attacks on the Gaza Strip. And it shows us the bloody blown up kids. 1 person was killed and 3 others wounded. In one incident, in another incident, 2 people killed, 12 wounded in Kianis, and 1 person wounded by gunfire in Tel Dahab area in northern Gaza. And there's video of it. And again, I don't want to show it because we'll probably get censored because it is graphic violence. And 10 wounded in new Aardvarkland strike on Gaza City, mostly children. And there's images of the children with bloodied up faces, shrapnel. And yeah, it's quite horrific. And then 2 Palestinians, including the children, were killed and several others wounded in an Aardvarkland helicopter gunship attack on a tent. There's still every Thursday, it seems, Ruckus, it comes back around in the news cycle that, oh yeah, by the way, they're bombing refugees in tents, for God's sake. And there's graphic image here of the dead kids. It's quite horrific. I don't think I want to show it here, but it's dead kids all blowing up.
The only way this gets any better is you tell me that somehow my taxpayer dollars pays for this.
It does. But don't you worry, Ruckus, because Netanyahu has a solution for that, for foreign aid to Aardvarkland war machine. We're just going to merge our 2 militaries together, Section 219 of the 2027 NDAA. And so you won't have to worry about that anymore, because we're going to be merged together. And so we'll be just as complicit then, as if we're not already, but making it official, we'll be officially complicit in this genocide. So there you go.
And I don't have to worry about it then, because that's the moment they definitely come pick me up and execute me or throw me in the FEMA camp or both.
You missed the report. I don't know if you missed the report yesterday. DHS has just bought up a bunch of these geo-private prisons that they're going to convert into migrant detention facilities, i.e. FEMA camps.
Yeah, I'm not a migrant. I'm fine.
First they came from the communists and you said nothing. Then they came for the...
What do you mean I said nothing? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Okay, we're almost done here. We got to laugh because it's so horrific. I got to laugh because I swear to God, I'm going to start crying. Go to Weaponized News Substack or go to Drop Site and the Cradle. Have the images on the X of blowing up kids if you want to see it. It's freaking horrific. All right. I'll link to it at Weaponized News Substack for those interested, or go to their sites and you can see the pictures. According to Gaza's health ministry, 6 Palestinians were killed. And that's all those reports I went through there. And 34 wounded in Aardvarkland attacks across the Gaza Strip over the past 24 hours, including 4 newly killed, 1 that later succumbed to their injuries, and 1 body recovered from the rubble. The ministry added that many victims remain trapped beneath the rubble. We showed you the rubble. Yeah. Like, talk about a project digging out victims from all that rubble. The ministry added that many victims remain trapped beneath the rubble and on the roads as ambulance and civil defense crews remain unable to reach them. Since the so-called ceasefire, October 11, 2025, the Gaza's health ministry says 1,214 Palestinians have been killed, 3,977 wounded, and 804 bodies recovered from the rubble. And then we have 2 more reports, and then we can wrap up here. Thank you for hanging with us, Ruckus, past the 2 hours. And those in the audience, thank you for hanging with us here. A video circulating on WhatsApp group linked to Hilltop Youth, which is the ultra-Zionist settler group there, one of the outfits. A violent Aardvarkland settler movement in the occupied West Bank celebrates the burning of mosques in 10 Palestinian villages in recent weeks, according to the channel's own post. And they list out the mosques they arsoned there in the occupied West Bank. The Hilltop Youth, ultra-Zionist settler group, seem extremely violent from the reports I've been seeing about this group. All right, finally here.
But if they're Zionists, they must be nice people, right?
God's chosen people, we're told. Not my God, their God. Okay, so let's get that straight. But Aardvarkland jailers at Negev prison deliberately strike Palestinian prisoners on areas infected with scabies, causing bleeding and severe pain. The Asra Prisoners Media Office said. AMO, Asra Prisoners Media Office, said scabies, fungal infections, and allergies have spread widely amid deliberate medical neglect and denial of treatment. Prisoners also face spoiled food, poor ventilation, high humidity, and prolonged deprivation of outdoor time. The Palestinian Prisoner Society separately says Aardvarkland forces have arrested more than 24,600 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank, including in Jerusalem, since October 2023, while thousands detained from Gaza remain unaccounted for. So they arrest them in the West Bank. They don't even have Hamas there. And then they freaking throw them in prison and torture them. Ruckus is what is going on here.
Well, and don't forget what happens to them if they're deemed to be considered a terrorist.
Then you get the final solution from Ben Gvir. You get lynched, right?
It's the hanging, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do it quickly and efficiently, and they can do it mass. They can do a whole bunch of them at once. It's pretty neat. I've seen the videos. Fun.
Or they rape you and then send you back to the Muslims who don't take kindly to that. And so you're shunned by all of society.
Well, that's if you're lucky, bro.
That's if you're lucky. That's if you're lucky. They'll send you back broken and be shunned by society if you're lucky. All right. Quite a bit we got through today. Final news here, headlines out of Iran International. See if we blew up Iran yet. U.S. sanctions Iran largest airport, Mahan Air, over IRGC support. Trump casts doubt on Ukrainian Patriot production license. Yeah, Boeing said yesterday they're not going to do it. So, like, the adults in the room are Boeing now over our government and Trump. Boeing said, "No, we're not going to let them. We're not letting Ukraine produce these missiles that are in Ukraine to attack deep in Russia. We're not doing it." So, thankfully, I don't know, some sanity from Boeing. I don't know.
That's the one whose planes keep falling apart, right?
Yeah. But they're saying they don't want their name on attacking Russia. Basically, is what they're saying. Is the way I took it, because they're saying we're not giving Ukraine our technology to produce.
That's nice that they're so concerned about their good name as opposed to, well, we're concerned that you're going to blow up our country. You know,
I think maybe they don't want Russia to put a target on them. Maybe.
Well, they do operate around the world, don't they?
Mm-hmm. They're multinational military defense contractor.
I call that a smart business move.
State TV dispute exposes limits of oversight in Iran. Again, I'm reading from Iran International. Egypt denies believing Iran behind ship attack. Report out that's was it a false flag? This is going to be interesting to see what Egypt, what they say about this. Was it Aardvarkland that attacked that ship? Trying to blame it on Iran? Trump says deal reached for complete disarmament of Hamas.
How would that work?
They just all get in a line and get shot in the face by the IDF, I guess. Trump says deal reached for complete disarmament of Hamas on Truth Social. But Trump lies a lot, too.
Maybe they could send in some of the Centaur robots with the chainsaws?
Maybe. Trump on his Truth Social earlier, about 3 hours ago, posted that the Board of Peace had reached an agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza, with Aardvarkland forces to withdraw as disarmament progresses. I just don't see it happening. And they've all said, we don't care what you say. You just heard Ben Gavir, right? What he just posted. I don't see it happening. We shall see. Maybe we have peace there. Call me skeptical. Every time they sign a ceasefire deal, as we continue to report, they keep whacking people and stacking bodies. So I don't know. I don't see how it works here, but maybe I'm naive and I just don't understand. Finally, headlines out of Al Jazeera. Iran war, Gaza border peace, lauds historic disarmament agreement. That's the big news. Border peace says roadmap will deliver significant benefits to people of Gaza. Historic border peace lauds Hamas agreement to disarmament roadmap in Gaza. Gaza deal jubilation not felt by Palestinians. You think? Oh my gosh. All right, that's all we got for today, Ruckus. Let's pray for peace over there. I don't see how it just seems like this is another escalation. I don't see how this can possibly work. Especially when you have Ben Gavir, Smotrick, and all the rest of the crew saying, yeah, we don't care. We're taking all that land and you're a Nazi.
Can't really argue with that. You know, if we learned anything, you just call somebody that and arguments over, you win.
Over to the channels. Shout out to Odysee audience and those in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Fat Bob over there. Shout out to you, Gur, Huffman, Coco. Coco said, and I always get this one. You got to fact check me on this, Ruckus. Coco said, we'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American people believes is false. William J. Casey. That's right?
It's a little off, but he did say something to that effect, yes.
I always get him and the other CIA director guy confused. I think the guy
it's just the way they present the quote usually, especially in the meme format or the way you just read it there is first of all, he did not say the American people, and second of all, it was kind of like it's a broken up. If you find the original phrase of what he was talking about, they took out a middle section to get that whole thing together the way it is that we're familiar with it. But again, it doesn't matter because he kind of was, in a way, saying exactly that. It's a great quote. I don't want to mess it up too much, but I mean, it's ironic that considering what the quote is about, it itself is a bit of a victim of some sort of telephone game misinformation in a way, you know. So it's ironic to me and funny, but it did not specifically say the American people. I will admit that.
Blump has the IQ of freeze-dried foreskin. Smack says that's a pretty good line there. Oh man.
I don't want to know what line of work he's in to have. I'm like, where'd you come up with this idea for freeze-dried? Well, that's totally a thing, brother. I deal with it every day at my work. What?
Oh man. Let's see. Huffman says he also said he can't do deportations because his friends would lose money. Trump did say that. That's why they don't go after the low-hanging fruit of employing these illegal aliens in agriculture, hospitality, and other industries where Trump's friends may be financially hurt by deporting their slave labor.
This is the real reason nobody did anything about it or cared or even attempted to do anything about it until the AI was ready to do all the work cheaply for these companies. Just saying.
Yeah. Pink Vegas says torture Palestinians are facing nonstop torture. They are. They are. And they would like to do that to us here. That's why we have to have basic human dignity and call it out for being wrong, and hope that if it ever does happen here to us, which is definitely in the cards, that somebody would at least say, hey, that's wrong. Probably not. The rest of the world hates America because of what our asshole government is doing around the world. We are the global hegemon, weaponizing the dollar, bomb the hell whoever we want, kidnap whatever president, literally just run around like maniacs, pirate ships, like just whatever we want, because we're America with the big gun. At some point in time, we're going to have to pay back all of that cost. Well, dynamic wages soon, Huffman says. I don't even know what that means, dynamic wages. You get paid more by the job you're doing at the time of day. I don't even know what dynamic wages means. Musk keeps saying we'll have super high universal basic income, but the problem is if you don't get your miracle or whatever, if you don't comply with the system, whatever they say, then they just cut you off, right? That's the whole mark of the beast system. Not very much freedom there. Not very much freedom at all. It's a total control system that you'll literally not be able to buy and sell unless you comply with whatever insane tyranny they want to roll out. Dynamic pricing is already here. What is that? Where they
it's algorithmic pricing, yeah.
Yeah, but how can you do that with wages? I don't, because most of the time you agree upon a set wage to do a set job. I guess that's a new thing, maybe.
So people do get paid different amounts of money for doing the same job, right?
But I agree with that. Yeah, that's true.
What if you're better at it?
That's true. But say,
I've never heard of this in the wage department.
I haven't either. That's a new one, but yeah, maybe uses your digital footprint to decide the price you pay. Yeah, I get that, but what about wages? I get the pricing.
I do know that they want to, so maybe this will affect people differently, because this also affects people differently, the taxes, because they want to take out like pretty much everything at every transaction, every second, every time, every day, all the time. That's like kind of going to happen on the micro transaction level. That's the word I'm looking for. So we'll be micro taxed. So we won't be like paying taxes at the end of the year. We're always paying taxes, with every transaction and everything that we do. It's done for us. And probably even penalties and fines and stuff too. We're probably already deemed guilty for doing something that goes against whatever the rules are. And it's already been deducted. You know what I mean? It's like, what?
Pink Vegas says they will find a way. Yeah, I believe they probably will find a way. Yeah, and it's exciting too. The FBI is looking at this pre-crime AI, so that's exciting as well. Maybe we can have pre-tax, right? Maybe we can pay our taxes before we've even done anything.
Well, they have those Trump accounts for everybody going.
How about just going to debt for your taxes before you even earn any income? You already owe. Well, that's like kind of the national debt. You already owe $100,000, bro. I just got born into this hellscape. Well, you owe $100,000. Nice to meet you. Damn.
You ain't kidding.
All right, friends. Thank you for tuning in on the Odysee channel and keeping that chat lively and respectable as per usual. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on X, Kick, Bitchute, Facebook, Substack, Rumble, and YouTube. Let's go over to these and see if we could see what's going on. So you told me, I guess I got to look, right? Usually, I don't know, yesterday was okay, but the last couple of weeks, we've been getting some hardcore trolling on the
what are you looking at? YouTube? Oh, yeah. Let's see if you can find the president of Trumplandia right away. Let's see if you can guess which one it is.
Oh, man. Shout out on the Rumble to Zio, Carrie. Let's see. I always said AI was BS, Carrie says. A lot of it is. It is, I don't know. It depends on what you're using it for, I think. but it's already played out. These AI images, for the most part, I believe. Say if you're a graphic designer, I believe you can still put out human output, and it will be valuable in the future because you can clearly see when a human did it versus AI. I think there will be a market for human-made everything.
I was on the fence about that at first, but I'm seeing what the output from ChatGPT and all of them are making now for people who decide to go that route. They're like, okay, make me a website, make me a graphic, make
It
me a
ain't that
flyer,
great.
make me a logo. It's crap. First of all, I mean, but you as a business owner might not recognize that, but I mean, trust me, designers and web people who do this for a living, they know what they're doing, and there's a reason that they do certain things. That's for your benefit. So just because you're like, oh, I just got what I needed, I just needed a website, you don't really quite understand. I just need a logo. Well, sure, now you got a logo. Now what? You know, it's like it's just like it's terrible what what they're doing, because they're convincing, they're basically forcing all this garbage on these business owners, and they're just like, oh well, it's simple, it's safe and effective, and that has never ended well for us, not in the past 6 years anyway.
And see, CJ says they have nothing on the 60s witches. Remember the old Daredevil evil can evil in your face front and center. Just ordered a new part yesterday, $400. I think he's talking about the increase in computer parts. Shout out to Croc on the Rumble, Bardo on the Rumble, Denver on the YouTube. People don't so much hate thy neighbor as they are misled by a Pied Piper, whatever subjective form it may take, which there are live many. Yeah. False prophets, false prophecy. Shout out to ADub. Nothing good gas comes from them. Wow, there's quite a few. Thank you guys for chatting it up. I can't get all these. I'm just going through them here, and I'm getting tired too. I know Ruckus is getting tired too here. Give us a like, share, subscribe if you haven't already.
Here, I got one for you, Sam, because I know you missed it. So, La Sunset Boulevard 98 on the YouTube says, U.S. flag, Trump, U.S. flag, the best president, let's go ICE, woot, woot, que bueno, U.S. flag, U.S. flag, U.S. flag, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They also put in Kirk, Pete, Patel, Rubio, Bondi, Noam, Vance, Bovino, and Homan. Huge fans of all those people. Thanks for shouting them out.
Oh my gosh. I think that's about all we got today. Thank you guys for, let's see. ADub says aardvarks are evil people. It's wild. A lot are, man. A lot are. I believe they're brainwashed in aardvark land. Like probably the most brainwashing of any place in the world. And I do believe they're being said, well, they're scapegoated right now. The rest of the world hates them, except for our corrupt government. Like the rest of the world can see, and most Americans can see at this point as well. There's all these polls saying that they're any support they ever has is falling off a cliff. Like people are sick and tired of it, and the corruption's just naked. Why is Africa so underdeveloped? Many reasons, actually. But China is working on developing them. They've been screwed over by the central bank cartel for a very long time. Corrupt leaders there, the IMF and World Bank. There's many reasons. why Africa is not fully developed. All right, guys, that's all we got. Any final thoughts, Ruckus?
Oh, yeah, actually, it's a big holiday this weekend. So shout out to all of you pagan Satanist types that are going to be celebrating this weekend with your little sacrifice ceremonies and all that. Have fun. Just kidding, but or am I? Anyways, it's Lunasa, I think is what this one's called. But no evidence that they really do satanic stuff, I'm sure. But they do have like naked witchcraft bonfire, pagan Gaelic celebrations and, you know, whatever. 'Tis the season. Have fun. I will pass myself. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, Ruckus, for hanging with us at 2 hours and 45 minutes. Give us a like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. As always, everybody do your own research, peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Thursday evening. And we'll be back here on Friday for more weaponized news. Let's pray for peace and hope they don't blow up the whole world between now and then. We'll see you tomorrow for more weaponized news. You got a boiler room plug for tomorrow?
I'm pretty sure we're doing one, but, you know, maybe 8 p.m.-ish Central Time. Just follow Boiler Room Alternate Current Radio on YouTube and Rumble and click notification. There you go.
All right. Have a great rest of your evening, and hopefully we can get further clarification on Boiler Room tomorrow, and I'll plug it if it's going on there and inform you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.